A desert town is taken over by a creature that controls and devours anyone it touches. In the empty Australian desert, something falls from the sky during the night. The next morning, a man named Bill drives out to repair a broken cell tower. When he arrives, he sees a small dog walking around. He pets the dog, then notices a dead rat covered in thick red slime. He touches it with his hand and instantly feels intense pain. Something worm-like crawls under his skin, moving toward his head as he screams in silence. In town, a boy named Simon wakes up after hearing strange noises outside. His mom won't wake up, so he runs to his Aunt Joanne and tells her what he heard. Joanne gets up and calls her co-worker Luke about the cell tower, but Luke says Bill went there and never checked in. The connection cuts off because the signal is weak. Joanne drives out to the tower and sees it badly damaged. A technician tells her it was not a storm. Something or someone destroyed it on purpose. He says it will take a day to replace. Joanne is annoyed and goes into town to ask around. Inside a cafe, the cook named Anthony hears his dog whining outside. He goes to check. Moments later, Anthony is seen walking slowly and staring blankly, ignoring everyone who calls his name. Joanne finds a trail of blood and discovers Anthony's dog torn apart with strange goo leaking out. She realizes something weird is happening. She sees some teens sitting on a porch and asks if they saw anything about the dog. They say no, but mention the dog was acting strange earlier. Joanne tells them to call her if they learn anything and walks away. Meanwhile, at the library, Joanne's sister Samantha sees Bill outside through the window. He is standing still, staring with blood on his hands, not responding when she calls his name. Scared, she shuts the door and watches him from inside. Back at the station, a geologist named Angela arrives excited and tells Joanne she found something strange. They drive into the desert where Angela shows her a giant crater in the ground. Angela believes something massive fell from the sky. Joanne doesn't fully believe it, but tells Angela to tape off the area and study it. On the way back, they find another dead animal with weird spikes coming from its body. Joanne thinks the cases might be connected and tells Angela to take a sample. Meanwhile, at the school, Samantha watches Bill closely. She suddenly remembers one student went to the restroom and hasn't come back. When she looks again, Bill is gone. Panicking, she grabs the kids and moves them into another room, telling them to lock the door. She radios Joanne over and over until Joanne answers. Samantha explains Bill was there with blood on his hands. Joanne tells her to stay with the kids and rushes over. Joanne arrives and finds Bill near the basketball court, his face covered in red goo, staring blankly. Joanne enters the bathroom and sees blood on the floor. She checks a stall and jumps back in shock after seeing a student murdered inside. Samantha enters the bathroom and almost faints when she sees it. She hears someone crying in another stall and finds a boy hiding. She covers his eyes and takes him outside. Joanne arrests Bill and puts him in her car. Luke, still worried about Anthony, follows him down the street and asks him questions, but Anthony doesn't answer. Luke hears the teens calling from above and tells him there are strange people outside. Their door is locked so they can't leave. Luke goes inside the building and is shocked to find a girl named Marcia hiding. She cries and says Anthony attacked her. Luke tries to get her out, but Anthony suddenly rushes in and attacks. Luke is thrown aside and sees Anthony's face covered in strange veins. Anthony grabs Marcia and hits her head against the wall. Luke shoots him in the leg, and Anthony screams, then runs away. Outside, Luke sees another infected man named Dean, acting the same way. Dean runs home and attacks his wife, snapping her neck. Joanne arrives, sees the dead woman, and meets up with Luke. They find Dean holding his baby. Joanne tries to calm him down, but Dean attacks her. Luke shoots him, and as Dean falls, a huge alien creature shoots up from the ground, grabs the body, and pulls it underground. More infected townspeople start chasing them, forcing them to run back to the station. At the station, a doctor examines Bill and says he has never seen anything like it. After the doctor leaves, Bill wakes up crying and tells Joanne that voices in his head forced him to kill. He says he knew what he was doing but couldn't control his body and begs Joanne to kill him. Suddenly, Bill's face changes shape, and a deep voice speaks through him, bragging about killing his daughter. Joanne is terrified and tells Luke to gather survivors at the station. Angela tries to leave town but sees a huge sandstorm blocking the way. She radios Joanne that it's impossible to cross. Joanne drives out and brings Angela back safely. At school, Samantha notices infected strangers outside watching them. She runs with the kids toward the police station. On the way, a huge alien creature bursts from the ground and drags people away like nothing. Night falls. Survivors stay at the station. Joanne and some others go out to rescue more people, while Luke guards the building. They come back running as a large group of infected chase them. Everyone gets inside safely. They hear a loud scream outside and look through the window. The alien creature appears again, killing infected people one by one. Luke and Joanne go outside and see the creature drag Bill's body off the roof into the ground. They return inside and realize one girl named Michelle is missing. They search outside and see Michelle being attacked by her infected mother. The alien suddenly appears and grabs the mother, pulling her toward the ground. Michelle is still grabbed by the leg and screaming. Joanne fires her gun, but it doesn't stop the creature. She grabs a shovel and hits the mother's hand, freeing Michelle. The creature pulls only the infected body underground. Out in the desert, the creature stacks infected bodies, and they burst into flames. The dust storm fades away. The infection is gone. The next morning, survivors sit quietly in shock. Luke tells Joanne he is leaving town. Joanne says she will stay. Joanne watches her nephew sleep and looks at his drawing of the alien creature. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe for more recaps.